If you're a maintenance supervisor for a commercial property, you've had to deal with everything from leaky faucets to flickering light bulbs. But nothing's worse than that ancient boiler that's lived in the building since the day it was built, 50 years ago. It's enough to make anyone lose their cool. That's where Grainger comes in. With industrial-grade products and dependable fast delivery, Grainger can help with any challenge, from worn-out components to everyday necessities. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
The following podcast is brought to you exclusively by the Rad Rob Radio Network.
This is PBA champion Kyle Troop.
Hey y'all, Jacob Wettrup here.
Jeff Riggles here from 11thframe.com.
Hey guys, Chuck Ritchie here, formerly of Bowl TV.
Hey guys, this is Ryan Schaefer of track staff at Valley Bowling Center in Waverly, New York.
And you're listening to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Yo, the boys from Straight Up 5, Rad Rob, Dr. Ocho, and of course JP Jr.
Pick it out. Fear the fro, baby.
Welcome to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. A hard-hitting, in-depth, cutting-edge look into the world of bowling. This podcast will not only cover all things bowling, but will also give you a raw look into real-life issues. You'll get unfettered access into the mind of one of the most gifted bowlers of this or any other generation.
Strike, and they claim it. Similarly does it.
So without further ado, let's introduce you to the hosts of the show. Rad Rob Francois. Rad Rob Francois. Dr. Ocho. And the incomparable Johnny Petraglia Jr. Johnny Petraglia Jr.
Hey guys, welcome back to Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. I am your host, Rad Rob Francois. This is episode 126, and we are back. What's going on, everybody in the chat? We got Staying Man. What up? We got Amanda Moore, who was very concerned that our show was gone. She messaged me last night. I said, nope, it's all Ocho's fault. Crambone, what's going on, brother? Crambone's in the house. We got Mark F. Oh, boy, you're back. Yes, we are. Alex Bermudez, what's going on? Hello from behind the drill press in Modesto, California. Welcome. Nico, our resident statistician and reporter, is also here. Good evening, everybody. Crambone says lose the cap. All right, you're banned. Let's introduce our first co-host because we have a lot to cover here. He is straight out of Compton, or straight back from Compton. He is the resident doctor of Straight Up 5. He is the man of many masks, the man of many talents. I couldn't say that with a straight face. He knows a little about a lot, and a lot about a little. So he is the one and only Dr. Ocho. What's going on, Och?
You know, most people make that joke that say, hey, I flew in from California, and boy, are my arms tired. Mine ain't, because I could easily fly from here to California. We good.
Your arms never get smaller.
I know. I can't help
amazing.
it.
No, I know.
They call me James Vanderpeak.
You're a little sunburned on one side of your body, but not the other.
I wasn't laying out like this when I was building a swing set. Damn it! I was building a swing set like this.
Did you get in and out while you're out there?
I did. Oh, I actually did. Oh, that's right. Yeah. Oh my God, life changing.
Is it really? I've heard so much about it.
It's so good. It's insane. It was so good. And I only went once, and I'm upset about it. It was so good. Oh, someone's in the picture. It was so good. We almost had him. It was so good. I won't even bore you. Everybody knows. Everybody who's been there knows it's freaking amazing. So
we're getting we're getting several in Tennessee. Hopefully by the end of the year. And we're also, like I said, we mentioned we're getting several Wawas too. So lots of good stuff coming here to the Mid-South. But yeah, I can't wait to check it out. I've heard nothing but good things about it. I heard
all we need is a Waffle House here in New Jersey and an In-N-Out, and I'm set for life.
Dude, Waffle House is so good. They really are good. Nico says, in the 2 weeks off, did Rob get any Popeyes?
That's a silly question.
I know, like I'll take
if
fucking
Rob
Duff
takes
for
a day
1,000.
off, he gets Popeyes.
Yeah, no, exactly right. Burgers are good. The fries are ass. Did you have ass fries from?
No, I had normal fries actually. I didn't see the ass fries on the menu. I would have. I mean, that's right up my alley.
That's fair. That's fair.
No, I'm into some shit.
Hey Moselle, what's going on? Welcome.
And I think I was told that Mama Petraglia is tuning in tonight too. So always good to have the other Petraglia, the better half, clearly. Of the Petraglia folk. That's not a knock on JP Sr. really, but
no, of course not. I mean, he's been on the show too much already.
Plus, I look like this, so I get away with it.
Yeah.
Hey, what else we got going on?
Well, we have somebody to your left, right? Hey, Johnny Petraglia, what's going on, brother?
Use the microphone.
Just testing out the windscreen. Barely made it from my golf outing today, so that's where I'm going to start. Ocho is excusing himself, so I'm going to slide right in here. First off, thanks to Jay Cutler for the new shirt, which you sent me because you felt like it. Mr. Olympia 4 times. The man that dethroned Ronnie Coleman, still rocking it. Send me the new white, the huge.
Let's go.
But I will say this. This is definitely a prop. It's still right here.
Yeah.
But I have a couple things to say before the show even starts. First off, thank you to Lenny Mastro Giacomo. He's Irish. Obviously. And thank you to Eddie Bienvenu. He's also Irish. And thank you to Jimmy Sperano, also Irish, for the greatest day ever at Mercer Oaks golf course today. 36 holes, and I have to brag about myself. So
sure, go ahead.
We started on the 3rd hole today at 1 p.m. and the 5th hole, if you drain it, par 3, 185 yards. If you drain it, you win a Ford Bronco, a year's supply of golf balls, a Yeti and a driver of your choice.
Holy shit.
And when I tell you, with a group behind me and the people watching, man, dude, right at that stick, rolled right up 2 feet short.
Oh, man.
It was so close, Rob, and all of our viewers, so close, I called my mother and FaceTimed her.
Nice.
Look at this fucking shit. She said, stop using that language. I don't like that language. Dude, it was one of those, dude, when I tell you closest I've ever been to an ace. What a great day at Mercer Oaks. Thank you, Lenny. Thank you, everybody. It was a mulch and something else, something with the ground. I never even actually looked at the name, but what they spared no expense in the woods of Jurassic Parks.
That's awesome. That's awesome, man.
So they spared no expense.
Too bad you came just that close to winning. That would have been badass, dude. That would have been.
It was a great day, man. What a great day. And then had an hour and 5-minute drive to good old Belford, which I made by 10 minutes. Pop right in, gave Gigi a kiss, gave Mrs. Ocho a kiss, and here we are. And Gigi's birthday is tomorrow. Friday. She's a little embarrassed to come on camera, but maybe at some point while we're still here, we can get her up here to wish her a happy 2nd birthday.
Yeah, absolutely. Badass, dude. Good stuff. Well, I'm
How
glad
are
you had
you,
a great
sir?
day, dude. Fantastic. I went to therapy today for the first time because I'm fucked in the head. So that happened today. Yeah, right. What else? Oh, my kid just started kindergarten on Monday. She's gonna be 6.
I also have to give one more shout out to somebody that doesn't even realize how important they are to me, and his name is Nick D'Ambrosio. Went out of his way to make sure that everything was good with my family, as he always has. So
good.
I saw his name in the chat. I obviously popped in late, but I did want to send an awesome thank you to the greatest man ever, and congrats on the new marina, and looking forward to seeing you August 24th at that marina. So, yeah. And other than that, Rob, I have so much to talk about in the world of bowling.
Sure.
For the last few weeks that we haven't been here, which, by the way, to all of our viewers, thank you guys so much for dealing with us through this hectic time, through Ocho's vacation, me bowling Dougie's event, Battle Bowl, all that stuff. So thank you guys so much for being so awesome. And Rob, thank you as always for being the greatest host a show can ever have.
Ah, man, you don't have to say that.
Oh yeah, man.
I'm just a house hack like Ocho. That's all I am. No, dude, I'm glad things are going great for you. Obviously, I saw a picture from Martha today. Man, that fucking bolognese rigatoni she had, that looked fucking.
I didn't get any of it, so do me a
That
favor
sucks.
and ask her to send it this way.
It looked really good, really good. I miss Northeastern food. I really fucking do. I miss the Chinese food. I miss the Italian food. Not to say there aren't good pizza places here. We've had a lot of transplants from New York City come down here and open up New York pizza joints. But
you know,
you can't get any good Chinese food here at all, dude.
Speaking of Martha, she lives in
is.
Long Branch. She's right on the water. And earlier, I'm a like one of those asshole TikTok scrollers, and I definitely follow Dave Portnoy. So I follow the One Bites.
Yes.
And he showed up at Gigi's Pizza in Seabright yesterday. So I messaged Martha and said, "Babe, have we ever had this pizza?" And she said, "LOL, yes, we have. We tried the everything bagel topping on the crust." And I said, "That's it. That's the place that has like the real pizza."
Yeah.
I forget the everything bagel crust, but what an amazing place. So anybody that follows Dave Portnoy, go to Gigi's Pizza in Seabright, 1142 Ocean Ave, North.
I follow him anyway because he's a Boston guy, but I do love his pizza reviews. He's brutal sometimes. Martha says the place is Johnny's. It's definitely amazing. Yeah, that I gotta. If I ever get up there, I gotta go eat there and get that bolognese, man.
Heck yeah,
that's good stuff. Chuck Ritchie has a crush on Martha. Well, fuck, who doesn't? I'll take no shit for 1,000, Alex. Poor John is
with, you know what?
Bob's hat.
You know what, Och? Meanwhile, hi, Moselle, the best. The first person to ever give money to the Johnny P / Straight Up 5 / Amazing Shirts, and one of my best friends from Vegas. I want to start with Nico's question down here, Och, or Rob.
Yes.
Wants to talk about the women's tour.
Yes.
Did you see the show from last night? Nico, give us a little bit more about the show from last night. And while he's coming back, Rob, how are you, sir? How's the family?
The family's great. As I mentioned earlier, my kid just started kindergarten this week. It's been a little bit of a tough task trying to get her to go every day, but she's doing great already. She did preschool last year, so she's already ahead of the kids that have never been to school. So life is good right now, man. My mom just got here, or she just left here. She visited for a few days last week from Colorado. Yeah, man, I'm able to, I think I mentioned this before, I'm able to work from home every day now. So that's a blessing.
Do you prefer that, Rob? How do you feel about working from home all the time?
What up, Bear? What's going on, brother? That's quite a.
And then after this, gotta pull up Devin.
Yes, I will.
Answer the question first.
So working from home is cool because one, I don't have to go anywhere. Two, it's when my kid was here, it was good to spend time with her. But it's actually a good chance for my wife and I to kind of work side by side and kind of reconnect too. Because marriages have up and downs. We've been married almost 20 years. We'll be married 20 years in February. But we've known each other since '98. So, and that's kind of the part where we're doing therapy now. Just kind of reconnect and kind of focus back on strengthening our marriage.
Do you like it? Like, do you like the idea of? Because I've been working graveyard for DraftKings for a long time.
Right.
I mean, as much as I love never having to go anywhere, I really, really fucking hate.
What's up,
like going to work at 10 p.m. It's hard.
I can imagine. Yeah, no, I can imagine. It saves on gas, right? And it saves on wear and tear in my car, especially when I still have time to pay for it. So it saves money. But yeah, I mean, I could just get up and go upstairs to my office. This is where I work from. And I don't have to go in and deal with fucking people. Everything I do is usually through text or email. So yeah, no, I love it. I love it.
Hang on, let me get my windscreen here. Hang on. So I can feel more like Joe Rogan. Hang on. And do me a favor, bring up Devin Baker real quick. Because Devin Baker, I'm actually going to announce this out loud. First off, Devin, I don't know where Delucius is. Meanwhile, the amazing black man, that's Devin, and the Italian guy doesn't know fucking the way to say this word.
That's sad. Yeah.
Delicious. Anyway, this is the man that got me into weightlifting right here. This is
right on.
The natural, like the true natural bodybuilding champion of Devin. I don't know. I know it's definitely New Jersey. I know he's been drinking Crystal Light for 8 years and been on the same eating regimen for almost 13. So always a pleasure to have Devin here because, honest to God, he's not only one of the best men you'll ever meet, but like one of the most committed. So never been to Delucia's. I'm still embarrassed that I can't say it, so I'm just going to flex.
Nico says Lee Jane Sin beat Jordan Richard. Ricard? Is it Ricard?
Jordan Richard.
Yeah, whatever. In the Tour Championship for a 4th title and locking up Player of the Year, she doubled in the 10th after Jordan went strike 7/10 split to give her the chance.
Well, we can't take anything away from Jordan Richard. Let's at least start there. She's one of the most talented bowlers I've ever seen. She has guts. She's got balls. She's amazing. She's clean. She's amazing. But Lee Jane Sin, I only was introduced to her this year, and I've watched her just be flat out amazing the entire season. And it's just the culmination of what she's done all year. And kudos to her, and also kudos to Jordan for just 2 amazing female bowlers that could also make TV just like Liz or Kelly on the men's tour.
Yeah.
So Lee Jane Sin, we love you, always have. And so let's talk a little bit more about this because I'm going to actually feed this into Battle Bowl. I'm going to feed this into Battle Bowl. I'm going to feed this into just going to go with this for a minute.
Can we address Long Nate here just for a second though? I always say you're the sexiest man in the world, but I mean Nate's right. Like if you're here,
I wish
Nate is
wish my nickname was Long John.
Nate was
Silver.
like right underneath you. He's a sexy man too. I tell him all the time. But yeah, hashtag Long Nate, by the way. Hashtag Long Nate.
Look at everybody showing up. We even have Doyle Irons. We have the man who actually gets to wrestle the men that you envy. MrDoyleIrons.com. Sir.
He's badass.
But I'm gonna start my Battle Bowl talk like this. I didn't bowl Battle Bowl, but I did show up on Wednesday to bowl the four team event. I did that. And the first person I saw was Mr. Corey Christian. So to anybody that knows Corey, please do him a favor and let him know that we're talking about him on the show.
What's up, Dale?
Dude, we bowled on a 7-. I believe the pattern was 7-1, and I bowled with one of the greatest people you'll ever meet. I'm just gonna say his name is Lenny, and his beautiful wife Jackie. We did have a 4th. I'm gonna leave him alone just because I didn't ask permission from any of these people to even talk about them tonight.
Sure.
But you want to talk about the greatest group ever, and here we go. I show up, and who am I bowling with on my pair? The first game, Ken McNeely. Do you even know who Ken McNeely is, Rob?
Absolutely. Yes, I do.
The last memory I have of Ken McNeely is this. And a coup de C, leading the 95 JP Open at Carolier Lanes, losing to John Gann. That man still loves this sport like there's no tomorrow. We kind of banked off each other the first game. We talked history of bowling. We talked like old school shit. What a pleasure to be around. So Ken McNeely, if you're watching, or anybody that knows Ken McNeely that's watching, thank you so much for such a great day at Bowlerama in Delaware, man. What a pleasure to be around you. Rob, I am so happy lately. I'm like ecstatic right now. Forget the shirts, forget the bag, forget everything else. What a great day, because who do I see walking by me? I'm on lanes 13 and 14 to start, and who's on the end? He's pretty good. His first name rhymes with Schmanthony, and his last name rhymes with Cripesenson. So we got.
I heard he did pretty well. Actually, I heard he bowled fairly well.
So let's start the convo now. The greatest bowler in the world beat the living shit out of everybody at Battle Bowl. And everybody knew it was coming, including Anthony. It was so amazing to watch, dude. And it's not like he was playing the track or like bumping 15-10. He was just, I'm just going to go this way, throw it over everybody, and just shoot one spare for the next 3 hours. Twice.
Yeah.
Did that twice. I mean, I think his low set that I saw 815 and I saw 880. So it's like, that's pretty good, eh? It's pretty good, dude. Nico, so I'm going to answer Nico's question here, Rob, because I bowled great in the one event. I did not bowl Battle Bowl. I only showed up for Dougie's tournament, which, by the way, Dougie Heron, Dougie Vision, thank you for being the greatest promoter and the greatest tournament host any of us could ever have, dude. You are a class act. You're amazing. You always will be, and thank you for always being, I mean, like, Dougie, you're the best. Nico, I don't know. I bowled fabulous for my 3 games on Wednesday. I did everything I could, man, and I shot 690. I bowled fabulous. I don't know how he does it. Rob, I don't know how he does it. He's figured out a way to just, not only is he better than everybody else, but he jumps to the move before everybody else. He has no fear. He has no worry. I played golf today. Like, shit, I duck hooked one. Like, I dead pulled one, and then I pushed one. So the next hole, like, instead of, like, just hitting it up the gut, I'm like, oh, don't hit it this way. Don't hit it that way. No, man. That never happens with Anthony. And I personally think that's the difference when it comes to most bowlers, because Anthony never fears what could go wrong. So, Nico, there's the answer to your question. I feel like Anthony never ever fears what can go wrong, and I think that's a big thing for everybody that's listening, especially our younger bowlers. If you have no fear and you just commit and let everything go, what's the worst that can happen? Probably the same thing that would have happened if you didn't. That's always been my problem, and it was never my dad's problem. Let's pull up Jim Ward here. Let's
What's up,
see,
Jim?
This is definitely, like, Jim went out of his way to talk about this. So go ahead, Rob, read this one.
Jim Ward says, I look at it this way. If you want to get better, you compete against the best, and it's the best. The best is Simo, then you better get better. And if you're going to beat him, then you have to get better if you're going to beat him. And even if you don't beat him, look at what you pick up by watching him. You get to watch and learn against the best. I mean, so a lot of people were complaining that he shouldn't have been allowed to bowl, or he shouldn't have been allowed to be in any side action. Getting any brackets and stuff like that.
Well, Jim didn't say anything about that.
No, I know.
Jim
I'm just
said
people have been complaining about
fuck
Simo.
those people. Fuck those. Bring that back up, Rob. Jim makes a great point here, because it was exactly what I was just saying. Anthony is not afraid to do anything at any time, ever. Everybody else is like, oh, I'm here for the what's the word that they always use? I'm here for the experience.
Right.
I'm here for the experience. But they always use that word, which I fucking hate, respectfully. Even if you are, excellent. Anthony's never there for the experience. Anthony's there to kick the living you-know-what out of everybody else.
Yeah.
And he does it committedly. Like, he never gives it an extra frame, right?
Right.
So, like, when we watch, we've all bowled. Anybody that's a bowler that's watching this show, that's a bowler, has bowled 800. Okay. So the difference between 8-0 and 820 is one shot. The difference between 820 and 840 is one shot. difference between 840 and 860 is one shot. So 800 to 860 is 3 shots over the course of 36 frames. Well, 30 frames if you don't include the rest, right?
Right.
So Anthony doesn't waste a frame here and there figuring out how to do better than what he's doing. And he's always been that way. Personally, I feel like that's why he's adapted the backup ball. That's why he can throw it over the gutter. That's why he can play it up the gut with a grenade. That's why he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants. He has no fear. And I appreciate what Jim said, and I definitely appreciate what Nico said earlier. And now we also have Player of the Year, Senior Player of the Year, Mr. Troy Lint in the chat. Troy, if you want to add it to there, please do us a favor and add it. But Rob, I've seen that from Anthony. Not even just bowling. I saw that when he opened his bowling alley, when he took over those 8 lanes at the Nerd, which is before the compound. When he was at the Nerd downtown, like I watched him try and level the lanes. I watched him fix machines. The man's entire life is bowling. That's one thing that most bowlers can't do. They can't put their entire lives into the sport that gives them their life, including my dad. I mean, like we watch bowlers grab bowling alleys, Don Carter, Earl Anthony, just to name a few. But man, oh man, like I feel like I'm starting to spit a little bit here, but how do you feel about this, Rob?
Simo is so driven and he's so cold-blooded, right? Like he's an Iceman, right? I wonder, and this is no knock to anybody. I don't know him personally. Do you think he might be on the spectrum a little bit? Because people that are that focused on one thing and that good at one thing are extremely, extremely smart, but they may lack in other areas, like in social skills and stuff like that. How is he, like, personally with people?
He's the best person in the world to hang out with. He's the best person to hang out with. He's the best person to talk to. I will never say a bad thing about Anthony. Anthony, we saw Phyllis earlier in the chat. Phyllis got me a birthday cake, and Anthony showed up at Phyllis's house. He's normal. He's like us. He almost doesn't want the fame,
right?
At least from what I see. He's just a good man. He's always been a good man, but he is such a predator on the bowling lanes, dude. It's crazy. And I'm talking like, dude, I've been around guys like JD Santalucia, Mike Newman, the Judge, John Rubio. I've been around some really, really badass son of a guns. Rudy Revs, for Christ's sake.
Sure.
This guy does it all with, like, he just relaxes when he does it. Like, he's really that good. Bring up Doyle's comment and then Charles right behind it. Let's see what we got here.
Doyle says there's 3 types of bowlers. Type 1 bowls locally and knows all of the house shots and all average 230 and talk heavy trash, but don't leave their zip code. Type 2 wants to be the best, travels to bowl against the best, and bowl on any and every condition, no matter what. Type 3, bowl just for fun, drinks a beer, or does rock and bowl, or maybe one fun league. That would be Ocho.
Did you just read that backwards?
Nope. No, I didn't.
Did you just read that backwards?
No,
or am I drunk off of Coke Zero?
I don't know. No, I read that exactly the way it was written out. Type 1 bowls locally and is a house hack. They talk shit, but they don't ever.
All right, so let's see this. Type 1 bowls locally and knows all the house shots and all. Fine. Okay. So type 1 has no problem going after everybody, right?
Right.
Fine. I'm that guy at Carolier, Doyle. I'm gonna say that's me. Second
type
guy
wants to be the
heavy
best.
Trash, but don't leave their zip code. I'm definitely not that guy. I would rather get my ass handed to me than ever talk shit. Ever.
Right.
I would rather say let's go and lose than ever talk shit and not be able to back it up.
Right.
And then wants to be the best, travels to bowl against the best, and bowl in every condition. I'm going to take John Fury on that one.
Yep.
I'm going to take John Fury on that one because John Fury is one of the best, takes care of the best, and is always in the hunt with the best. That's my assessment on that.
And type 3 just bowls for fun, drinks a beer or two, and does maybe one fun league or rock and roll.
That's me after a day on the golf course, and then I bowl league.
Right.
Yeah.
And Charles says Simo was amazing. Was every single person that wanted a picture or to chat or anything. Kids down to earth, so down to earth, it's sick. And a lot of bowlers are like that. But to have somebody that's that good, be that humble, like Belmo. Belmo's the same way. Belmo, I'm sure, gets hounded everywhere he goes in the bowling alley, but still takes the time to take pictures, sign autographs, stuff like that. I mean, bowlers are just a different breed. I mean, you'll never see anybody like it. You're not going to see that many people like that in basketball or baseball or hockey or football. I mean, you're going to have one or two there, here and there. But I saw a video of LeBron in France brush a kid off that wanted an autograph or wanted a picture, and then went in club and just started dancing. Like, that's a fucking douchebag. This kid's never going to see him ever again. And I know LeBron gets hounded everywhere he goes. I know he's one of the most popular people on the planet, the most recognizable people in the world. But to tell a kid to get the fuck out of his way and not take a picture with him it's just kind of a.
So Rob, let's do this then. How about Shaq? Is Shaq or Snoop Dogg? Are Shaq and Snoop Dogg like two of the best people in the world when it comes to the media? And they're also like two of the most badass people in the world outside the media, right?
Sure.
They've accepted their fame and they want to do good for other people, right?
Right.
Simo and Belmo are the same way. So is Pete Weber. Pete Weber is the same exact way as Simo and Belmo. So is Walter Ray. I mean, that's one of the coolest things about bowling is even though everybody always wants to blah, 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 and all their shit, our bowlers are pretty solid when it comes to the fans. You don't meet many bowlers that are assholes to fans. Because you got to remember one thing, man. I mean, like Ray Gunn from Australia beat us to the Olympics. And she's got fans.
Yeah.
But when it comes to bowlers, when I was at Dougie's tournament at Bowlerama in Delaware, which I've never been. When I tell you, dude, the entire bowling alley full. Everybody there was nice. Everybody was happy. Everybody wanted to be around each other. It was amazing. I feel like that's the world that bowling has always been. I feel like if everybody in every other realm just followed bowlers in that respect, the world would be a lot better place. Because bowlers give a shit about bowlers. They may talk shit when they're done, but when we're on the lanes, they don't give a shit, man. They're happy. They high five. They don't care if you go Brooklyn, trip a 4, roll a 2. It doesn't matter.
Right.
Everybody's there for everybody. Everybody has a good time. Everybody's loud. Everybody's kind of obnoxious, having a good time. It's good. Bowling is the sport that has always kept people together, at least in the world that I live in. I have made so many friends from every walk of life through bowling. I've said this, Rob, 100-something episodes.
Yeah.
100-something episodes. Bowling is the greatest thing in the world, and the greatest thing for me is I got very, very lucky. People always talk about, you rolled into a pot of gold. You did this. No, I just happened to really roll into a pot of gold. I'm the son of not only one of the greatest bowlers in the world, but one of the biggest gentlemen the sport's ever seen. My dad's entire life is dedicated to making other people happy and prosperous. So for my entire life, I've only heard positive things about my dad for my entire life, which is kind of tough to deal with sometimes.
Sure.
But it's also the most humbling, amazing thing in the world.
Yeah.
So I definitely want to make sure I do that for people like Simo and people like I saw at Dougie's event on Wednesday at Bowlerama. I mean, just my buddy Day Day is one of the coolest dudes in the world behind his fucking wife, Destiny. Just amazing people for no reason other than the fact that they give a shit about the thing that they're chasing, which is bowling. They're chasing greatness in bowling. I'm starting to like dig a little bit here. Rob, take it over. I have to drink another sip of this Coke Zero.
No, you're absolutely right, man. I mean, we've said it. Every guest we've ever had on the show, we always say afterwards, man, they're so fucking cool. They're so humble. They're so laid back. Whether it's Belmo or JJ or Danny Wiseman or John Mazza or Ryan Schaefer or Brianna, like anybody we've ever had on the show, never had a douchebag on our show ever. Even Chris Barnes was nice to us, and I've heard he could be addicted at some point. But like, people have bad days. People have off days. You know, you can't judge somebody by one or two, encounters. Matt Russo, fucking fantastic. Boog is one of the fucking nice, one of the nicest guys ever. Just bowlers in general are just the everyday working class, right? And that's kind of what your dad, obviously, growing up, was just a hard fucking worker, like blue collar guy, right? Just fucking nose to the grindstone, always diligent, always had great work ethic. And when it got to bowling, it was no different.
That was a little bit. Sorry to cut you off.
No. Go ahead.
That was a little bit different. Like nowadays, for instance, if I was to compare me to Dad had a couple different options, right? It was either join the gang, the Monarchs, so you can fight the Bishops from 70th to 70th and 13th to 69th and 18th,
right?
So, like, it was like, I could do this for the rest of my life. I could sell drugs. I could join the mob. Or I could go to Maple Lanes and clean tables for 2 hours so I could bowl for 1 hour. And I distinctly remember my dad telling me a long time ago that I'm not going to use the guy's name because it's a big name in the wrong world.
Sure.
I distinctly remember my dad going somewhere and making a lot of money and then going home and not knowing where to hide the stack of hundreds in his drawer. And my grandfather finding it. Because it's very similar to like a Bronx Tale story. Like the working man is the badass, type shit compared to, but Dad, I worked for it. It's one of those stories. But my dad's story was, hey, when he finally told Grandpa, look, I can stay here and do X, Y, or Z, or I can try and go out on tour. So my grandfather took a second job to raise enough money for my dad to go on tour. Got the car, got the rides, got all that shit. And after my dad goes and wins in Fort Smith, Arkansas in 1966, before it was actually nationally televised, he gets his draft card. So he has to come home and go to war. I think, where do we start this real quick? Because whenever I talk about my dad, dude, like I start to get a little bit mushy. Where were we with this?
Hardworking, work ethic, down to earth, driven people.
I guess what I was trying to get at here was, if you want something bad enough, absolutely nothing can stop you other than your brain. And my dad decided to not let his brain stop him. And going back to Simo, I feel like Simo decided from a very early age, nothing's going to stop his, right?
Yeah.
It's, yeah. Steal it. I'm getting mushy.
I mean,
take Amanda's comment.
That's a sexy comment, though. Like, and it's a sexy trait to have, right? To be that driven and not give a fuck about what people say about. Because I mean, when you're on top, dude, everyone's gonna talk shit about you. We've seen it from Belmo for how many years, right? Fucking two-hander. He's fucking changing the game. He's cheating. Whatever the fuck. People get jealous of winners, right?
I think the difference between Simo and Belmo is everybody wanted to hate Belmo. Like, they really tried to hate Belmo. But after Belmo established the new game, then they saw Simo and they said, oh, this guy can do everything he does plus more, and he's even more quiet about it.
Yeah.
You have two, like, think about this, dude. The loudest professional in my top 6. Let's go Earl. Let's go Walter Ray.
Yeah.
Let's go Belmo, Simo. There's Ford, Mark Roth, Parker Bone. I'll even add 6. Are any of them loud? Are any of them over the top? No, man. They're all even keeled. They're all normal, and they just follow the flow. All of them. Is this even working?
No.
It's like the sexiest thing I've ever seen.
It is. It absolutely
Go ahead, Amanda. What do you got, Rob? Go.
Amanda says there's a small percentage of pro bowlers that ruin it for others, but that the other 98% surpasses all expectations of what we think pros are like. Those are the ones that bring passion back to the game. No, she's right about that. You're always going to have bad apples in life, no matter what profession or job or sport or what you do. I mean, that's a fact of life. But for the most part, everybody we've ever encountered in the bowling world, whether they're professional, they work at the lanes, or mechanics, pro shop operators, they're all cool, right? They're all fucking just down to earth, badass people. Like Glick, fucking Ocho talks about Glick all the time. I'd love to get him on the show at some point, but he's just a down to earth, cool dude. Fury, same way. I mean, John Fury is. I've never met him, but every story I've ever heard about him was cool. I grew up with so many good people at Bradley Bowl in Windsor Locks, Connecticut, from Red Burnham, the proprietor, to his brother that ran the snack bar, to his son that ran the pro shop. Just all cool people. The mechanics are great. The porters are great. It's a job and a sport unlike any other. And guys like Simo, I love that they, and EJ buy their own lanes, right? Take care, fucking fix machines and like Parker. You said Parker filled up people's fucking like sodas and shit at a birthday party, in Howell Lanes, or I don't know if it was Howell or Carolier. Just down to earth people, right? Like Parker Bones, one of the greatest bowlers of all time. He's helping out around the fucking bowling alley, just with kids' birthday parties. Like, where else would you find that in any other sport?
It's difficult to, at least after all these years. I mean, man, I'm going to be 40 next month. I know I say that all the time. JJ, great to see you, man. What a pleasure to see you. But you're exactly right. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of, I'm trying to think of forget this for a minute. It takes a lot of heart and a lot of, I'm looking for that one word, where you keep everything intact, where you keep everything in line, where you don't get pissed about X, Y, or Z. Like right now. We have to, guys, sorry to interrupt, but we do have a birthday.
Oh, hey, Gabriella. Hi.
When's your birthday?
Is your birthday
You were just
today?
screaming 2 seconds ago. Everybody can hear you, and now all of a sudden,
who's that?
Hi, Gabby. Who's that? Rob. It's your daddy's best friend.
You were just screaming 2 seconds ago, and now you
can scream.
You're dummying up. Who's this?
She is adorable.
You were yelling his name. Anyway, Gabriella's birthday is Friday. And look at all the happy birthdays everybody's saying.
That's from my buddy Jerry Johnson.
I forgot. Our kids have
happy
the
birthday,
same.
GG.
Our
Oh
kids'
my
birthdays are on
God.
the same day. I totally forgot about that.
You silly.
Doyle says happy birthday. Look at this. Look at this.
Happy early birthday,
How old are you going to be, silly? All right, so we're seriously going to hear you scream from over there, and then when we get you on the camera, you're going to dummy up. Are you crazy? Are you crazy? What are you looking at? Well, her enthusiasm is infectious.
Thank you, Nick.
So
Grounded.
We will see.
Was the word I was looking for. Grounded.
She'll be 2 by the next show.
Nice.
Well, happy early birthday to you from all of us. You're amazing.
Bye.
Wave to everybody. Wave on the top. Wave on the screen.
See ya.
Come on, you can wave.
Bye.
Oh,
Bye-bye.
camera shy.
Bye-bye.
Okay.
She's awesome.
Whenever the camera's off, we'll edit that out. We'll get to the
Look at all these happy birthdays
all the
for
happy
you.
birthdays for you.
So many happy
We
birthdays.
should just do this more often.
I completely forgot that his kid and my kid have not the same year, but the same day. That's I'm an idiot. I don't know how the fuck I forgot that, dude. Don't ever get old, Johnny. You'll forget all kinds of fucking shit.
I will tell you this. The one thing I don't have is children, and I'm going to go back to Nick D'Ambrosio here again because Nick gives a shit about the Petraglia family like there's no other, and went out of his way to remind me of something that was very important. So I'm looking forward to not only lunch with Dad on Friday, but also a little bit of a bowling session just to see if I'm still moderately close to how good he is.
Nice.
So
let me take this opportunity just since you mentioned
Nick for that. So thank you.
Since you mentioned Nick, let me take this opportunity to apologize for getting into it with him on his Facebook page about political shit because we're on.
You don't have to apologize for shit, man.
No, I should because I was
no,
rude.
You shouldn't.
No. I was rude to him and I shouldn't have been. I think he unfriended me over it, but
that's okay, man. I promise you, he's a great dude, as are you, and that's totally cool.
He is a good dude. Everything I've seen, he's a hard worker, and I've seen pictures of you guys golfing and how much you guys love each other. So
he's a good man.
I just want to throw it out there.
Good man, just like you. That's all there is to it. That's all. And I'm definitely going to his marina party on August 24th. Let's go.
Nice. John Janowitz is still on fire. Won again last week. He didn't make match play in the TOC, but he was announced player of the year. So our guy, JJ, rookie of the year last year, player of the year this year. Couldn't happen to a better guy. Just one of the coolest dudes ever. And fucking
what, man,
years, dude.
Rob, I look at the senior tour. I look at Barnes. My God,
Walter.
Tom Hess.
Walter's having a great year.
Jason Couch, Parker Bone, Walter Ray. And then here comes John Janowitz. And everybody was afraid of John Janowitz. And now he's just like, just going to nonchalantly kick the living shit out of all of you. Going to walk off the approach like this. Touch my jaw once in a while. Play any zone on the lane and just kick the living shit out of everybody. He's also got 3 Johnny Petraglia titles.
He does.
So I feel like I have a reason to have him and I as my Facebook photo.
Right.
Yeah, totally. I feel like I definitely have an excuse.
We've had a good couple of years in bowling in your circle, right? You had Troy win player of the year last year, win the U.S. Open. He had JJ win rookie of the year, now player of the year. Boog has become a good friend of ours, and he had a fucking ridiculous year, winning in Delaware and winning the playoffs. It's kind of, and even last year with Simonelli, and your dad's team winning the Elite League. Like it's been a pretty good run that we've had here with friends of the show for the last couple of years. It's just cool, man. Like anytime we ever see our friends win, like it's just badass, dude.
Rob, I just think it goes to show you that when you move the blinds or when you cover shit, bowlers are fans of bowlers. We all talk shit to each other, especially when we're trying to win. Finally, you're gonna wake up. It's your second birthday. Hello, I'm bad. Hey, yo, whoa. You're gonna come over here or what? Bowlers, as much as we talk shit to each other on the lanes, nobody wants anybody to fail, ever.
No,
we all. I stand in the back. I want everybody to strike always,
Right.
And so does everybody else. Everybody gets irritated or mad or like, "Oh, this guy sucks. What a piece of shit. This guy can't fucking wipe his ass when you." And all the shit that we all say it, right?
Of course.
But everybody deep down, somehow, some way, respects this sport enough. They don't want anybody to fail, man. I certainly don't.
Right.
I mean, my girl is a brand new bowler, and when she bowls 137 at Majestic, it makes me happy. It makes her team happy. Makes her happy. That's fun. It's fun. right? When I get to watch guys like Simo, all I want to do is ask him, how do I do that? How do I get there? When I see Jason Couch, I say, how are you such a great shot maker, like just all the time from any angle? How do you hit what you're looking at? When I talk to Parker, I'm like, I would like to learn how to split a dime at the dots and the rangefinders. When I see John Fury bowl league, I'm like, you're amazing. It's like I do shit like that. Like I feel like all bowlers do that to some extent. We all go home, we watch videos, we try and figure out how to get a little bit better. And the only way you ever learn is from somebody who you think is better than you. And everybody has somebody they think is better than them, including Belmo, including Simo, including Walter Ray, including Earl Anthony. Everybody's got somebody that they looked up to. Nobody entered this game and said, oh, I'm good at this. I'm going to get better at this. Everybody showed up and said, this guy's good. This girl's good. I have to figure out a way to be better than that. Right?
Right.
And that's the greatest thing about the bowling world.
I feel like there's been a very
We have Oach washing hands, and we have little Gigi screaming. So I'm going to mute myself for a second. Rob, you take.
Yeah, that's fair. Now, it's again, bowling is a unique sport. There's been a lot of chatter now that the Olympics are over, but we were going to cover this a couple weeks ago about, and we've covered several times about why bowling is in the Olympics or not, and a lot of our discussion has been because of the unequal playing conditions, or more righties and lefties. Oil breaks down differently, but a lot more of the research that I've put into it and seen, Wriggles talk about and all that is it really comes down to money and who wants to grease the palms of the IOC, the fucking corrupt IOC. And bowling is popular around the world. A lot of people want to say that, well, you wouldn't have that many countries competing, but how many fucking countries compete in archery and fucking cricket and shit like that, right? It comes down to money. And we got close in the mid 90s. I remember Chris Schenkel talking about how close we were to getting in. They almost got in Japan. Yes, the IBF is corrupt too, says Chuck Ritchie. It really comes down to the fact that there's just either not enough money put into trying to get it in the Olympics, or just not enough money in general to support, because we've seen money issues with prize funds and all that and sponsorships and blah, 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 blah. But it's still a universal sport, but we have so many other sports that are in the Olympics that don't make sense. Breakdancing, yeah. Breakdancing is...
No. Below that, Doyle stole my next thought.
Oh, sorry. Let me pull it up.
So Doyle's secret is on the way to the tournament, finds the nearest church, drops C note in the collection plate, cleans the equipment in the holy water. Somehow a miracle happens, and now he carries everything. That's amazing.
That is so good.
Amazing. And Jerry, that's definitely not a knock on Christ, Jerry. I know.
No.
Salute.
That's hilarious.
That was funny though.
Horse dancing is in the Olympics, Scott. Yeah, you're right. I think everybody's right. I think it has nothing to fucking do with bowling conditions and equipment and all that bullshit. It's literally nobody wants to put any money into bowling or grease the palms of any of the IOC to get it in there.
No, I feel like enough of the world has shit on ray gun, including me. I even showed it to my mother. And my mother cackled over it.
Yeah.
I actually showed her Bob Menery commentating on ray gun.
So
my mom was like, this man is so vulgar. He's so vulgar.
He's so funny.
He says fuck a lot. But, it was still amazing because he made so much sense. When it comes to bowling, I again, want to talk about the Olympics. The only thing I'll say is too many variables. Lefty, righty, oil condition. That's it. Every other sport in the Olympics, the playing field is even. There's no advantage for anybody unless you're a man that's a woman and you want to box. That's the only thing I got. Everything else is like whether you're throwing the hammer, whether you're doing the shot put, whether you're doing javelin, diving, swimming, track and field, you're all competing against the exact same thing all the time. And I feel like when it comes to bowling, we've seen it, man. Like, we have seen it, and I know this is going to piss off a lot of people because it makes sense. Rob, who are the bowlers that have always been the best? Give me 3 names. Go.
Over the years, I'll just say Weber.
Just give me 3 names.
Weber, Duke, and Walter.
Okay. Perfect, right? Fine. My 3 in my lifetime would be Weber, Duke, Walter, and I'm going to throw in Parker as like my half. Right? Parker's in there too. Why? They figure out a way to beat everybody else all the time. Same way Belmo does, same way Simo does, same way EJ does. So those are the new guys. Kyle Troop is like right there. Mm-hmm. He's dancing. He's dancing. It's right on the edge. But he's not. Ocho is screaming Marshall Kent. They're screaming from the outside. They want to be those 3 names that are just instant, right? Sure. They're just instant, right? And let's even include guys like Brian Voss. Let's take guys that have just stood the test of time across the board when it comes to bowling. So not only have the variables changed, whether it be resin, whether it be rubber, whether it be plastic, urethane, whether it be, I don't know, sport conditions, short conditions, long conditions, they've always figured out a way to be the best, right? That's what we all aspire to be. So when we see guys like Simo, EJ, Belmo, Troop, I mean, I'm even going to go as far as saying, God, who am I missing from the new tour that is that good? I feel like maybe I'm talking too much. We got a lot of people talking here in the chat.
I just got a text from John Janowitz.
JJ.
Yeah.
Okay, JJ. There's Mike Harder, which, by the way, Mike, great seeing you in Virginia, brother. And congrats on a fantastic week. That's my man, dude. We should have been playing golf together today. Look at my tan lines, dude. They're messy. I need you tonight, man. I need you. Mike Harder. Roger Meany has a great one. Chris Prather. But so let's even take Chris Prather. Chris Prather, new to the tour, amazing on tour, wins the big ones, and we haven't seen Chris Prather on a TV show all year.
Right.
I think Chris Prather is one of the best bowlers that's ever lived. Anybody in the chat disagree? Anybody? Not sure. I think Chris Prather is one of the best bowlers that's ever lived. Always will.
Sure.
But he doesn't reach Belmo, Simo, Troop, or Parker. Like, just to name 4 of the guys, right? So what's the difference? What is the difference? Because Chris has a head of steel just like Simo, just like Belmo. Chris can play any zone, can do whatever he wants. He's Dell, thank you, Dell. Another great one. Bill O'Neill. Want to talk about somebody who has decided that the evolution of the game when it comes to two-handed and guys that throw it high and guys that throw it hard, the guy that just is amazing at what he does. And thank you, Rob. There's another one, Tommy Jones. So those are the other 2. Which, by the way, Rob and Dell, thank you guys for that one. Thank you guys. And Scott, agree about Prather, the modern Ozio, 100%.
Yes.
So there you are. Actually, that's an amazing. So what are they even stronger mentally than the guys that have got all of it nowadays? Like, what's going on there? I don't even know, because TJ is like the modern day, to me, Marshall Holman. 20-something titles, televised 300, Hall of Famer. But the difference between TJ and Marshall is TJ actually wins on TV. A lot of people don't know this about Marshall Holman, and I hate to shit on him, but Marshall Holman made TV 197 times and only won 22 titles.
That's true. Yeah.
Tommy Jones has 21 titles and has been on TV 80 times. Chris Barnes, same way. Chris Barnes originally, early part of his career, struggled on TV, but now another guy, 20 titles, Triple Crown winner, Hall of Famer. I mean, could you imagine? Like, it's just crazy. And now they're really, really, really chiming in here because this makes a lot of sense, this entire story. The athletic guys stand a better chance. I'm going back to Roger Meany. Athletic guys stand a better chance these days because they're all athletic, all of them. You don't see, respectfully, any more Dale Travers. You don't see, oh God, who else was a mess? Steve Cook was tall and athletic.
Steve Cook was very tall. Yeah.
Who was a mess? Who was a messy bowler that won a lot? Who am I missing here? Like that won a lot. We can't find one, right? True. So that's always been a constant, but nowadays it's especially true. And when you watch it, I talk to Phyllis about this a lot. Phyllis is used to, the guys like Pete Weber, Randy Peterson, Brian Voss, and Leto Monticelli. We're all out on tour. We're all going out to dinner. We're doing this. We're doing that, yada, yada, yada. Nowadays, the guys kind of keep themselves away from all the shit. You never see a guy in a bar. Thank you, Henry. Mike Scroggins, great one. You never see anybody in the bar. They all do their work. They go home. That's it. It's a job nowadays. And I just wish that they were doing this job for a little bit more money.
Yeah, I know.
They work way too hard.
That's always been the issue, right? Phil Ringer.
Thank you, Jim.
I love
thank you, Jim, Phil Ringer, and thank you, Del Picard, DJ Archer, and thank you, Rob Velez, Tim Couch.
Wayne Garber.
They're bringing up good players here, and this is good shit right here.
Brian Kretzer.
Oh my God, BK. Nobody was better than BK. And Brad Angelo in the World Team Challenge era. Mike Newman. My God, Mike Newman. But anyway, starting to ramble. We're at an hour. You have an imbecile?
I do, but there's one thing I do want to bring up here.
Yes, sir. Take it.
Getting back to the Olympics real quick. I sent this to you and Ouch. The 84 Bowling Digest. Apparently we did have an Olympic team, and I don't know those guys.
I believe this was the FIQs in Singapore when Fred Borden was the coach.
Okay. We had Tony Cariello, Rich Wonders, and Rod Toft. Obviously, this is before they allowed pros in the Olympics. So it was just purely amateurs. But apparently we were close to getting it in 88. Like I said before, we were close to getting it in 92. They almost got into Japan. Bowling's coming up just a little bit short.
Can we go back to the gray angle in the photo?
Oh, yeah.
Not that photo. Can we go back to the gray angle with the yellow finger grips?
Sexy ball, isn't it?
I mean, that was one of the balls that I wished I owned.
Right. I mean, you only had about 5 choices back then, right? So it's not like it is now where there's 15 bowling balls every month. But so,
by the way, got to give a shout out to Joe Chadden. Miss you, dude. I'll be back on the West Coast someday, dude. Great to see you. Go ahead, Rob.
I think at one point, I think bowling would make it in. I don't know if it'll be. In fact, bowling did make it one year, but it was only an exhibition sport. It wasn't for any medals. I don't remember which games that was. But they've been to the Pan Am Games quite a bit. Obviously, we have the USA national team that goes around the country and bowls. But like Tom Clark said, we have the World Series of Bowling. That's kind of what he wanted to do to kind of make his own world stage, right? Have the World Championships, have the World Series of Bowling, and get people from all around the world, the best in the world, to come bowl here. So if it didn't get hot when Belmont was hot, I don't think there's that big of a chance of ever getting back in, unless you have a guy like EJ and Simo that just keep going fucking nuclear and winning everything.
Rob, we have Kalamazoo, Michigan's finest, Charlie Tapp.
Oh, Charlie Tapp's in the house.
Confirming that Rod Toft from Minnesota is in the cover. Terrific player. Charlie Tap, gonna say this out loud in front of everybody, hammered off my Coke Zero. You're one of the best men I've ever met, and thank you for bringing that to this show, man. We love you. You're the best.
Also, the greatest name in bowling ever. Charlie Tap. That's just how many 10 pins do you leave?
Imagine being so nervous that you can't see straight and still acing a shot for the win.
Yeah,
that man knows how to do it.
Cold-blooded,
dude. The Tapster.
We do. Yeah, that's all I got.
Chuck Ritchie.
I love Chuck. Chuck is Chuck's one of our unsung heroes. Like he's out there bowling regionals every single week. Obviously, formerly of Bowl TV, he got a raw fucking deal there for voicing his opinion online and got fired from there, which is still fucking bullshit. But Chuck is one of the good guys, and we got to get him on the show here one of these days. He's a cool dude. And Charlie Tap I'd love to have him on as well at some point too. But
I like what Jason said here. So Jason, this has always been one of my arguments is Jason says 70 hours a year of TV versus every 4 years for the Olympics in a 2-week span. We are getting exposure in some ways, thankfully. So here's my answer to this.
True.
My dad always said this. Remember when Tiger Woods showed up? So you would get to, if you watch television, like if you watch sports on TV, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, you could watch Tiger Woods from, I don't know, depending on where you are geographically. You could watch Tiger Woods from noon to 6 p.m., Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, right?
Yep.
But in 1994, when Norm Duke set the scoring record and lost 296-280 to Brian Goebel on the TV show The True Value, you only got to see Norm Duke lose, and that was like 15 minutes. You didn't get to see him break every scoring record, 6-game, 8-game. You didn't get to see him out-average anybody by 8 pins a game since Mike Albee. You never got to saw that. Never got to see it. Sorry. Never got to see that. So this is my biggest problem with bowling, too, is we don't have enough. The world doesn't get to see what the guys do prior to TV.
Right.
Enough. So I guess we'll go to Roger's question in a minute here. I guess thanks for getting exposure in some ways, thankfully. I guess, Jason, but I wish bowling figured out a way to like let the world know what the bowlers do. I could never do what the bowlers do, man, ever.
I mean, we have.
I could do it one day. I could never do it for not only a week. I could never do it for the way my dad did it. I could never drive across the world, across the country. I could never lead the showboat in Vegas after I drove my fucking Cutlass 3,000 miles across the country. I could never then go from there to Lakewood, California and lead the AC Delco, follow it to friggin' Texas for the Quaker State. Like I couldn't do that, man.
Right.
The talent, the commitment that those guys have is extremely underlooked and not shown. It's just not shown.
Getting to what Roger said, if bowling did make it into the Olympics, would the major networks, ABC, NBC, et cetera, even cover bowling over basketball, gymnastics, swimming and all and diving and all that? But there's so many networks nowadays. Like, I think NBC Universal just alone owns like fucking 13 different networks. I mean, like you'll probably be able to see it at some point. Would it get primetime coverage? No, of course not. But I mean, if they cover fucking judo and rowing and handball and sailing and shooting and squash and canoeing and cricket and cycling, like fuck me, dude. And that goes back to what Belmo said. Belmo was on Sweep the Rack a couple of weeks ago. Oh, you're right, Del. We do need bowling back on Saturday afternoon. I do miss that. But Belmo said that the Olympics are being geared towards the younger demo, which is why they have breakdancing and X Games and stuff like that. But as much as I respect Belmo, I still kind of call bullshit, because then why do we have golf? Golf is not a young man's sport. 40-year-olds and 50-year-olds love watching golf. Why is archery in? Why is judo in? Rowing, handball, sailing, shooting, squash. You're telling me squash appeals to the younger demographic? Table tennis, taekwondo, cricket.
I don't know, Rob.
I mean,
I will say this. One of our fans on YouTube, Dak Arling, I have an answer for this, or at least something to maybe make Dak think about it. Dak Arling on YouTube, which, by the way, thank you for watching. Why does bowling insist on step ladders when at the match play rounds, which are dramatic?
They are dramatic, true.
So, long time ago, Dak, like late 60s, mid 60s, there was no step ladder. There just wasn't. And they made the step ladder for television. They made it. And it was great for television for a long time when you only had 3, 4, 5 stations to turn on the television. You had ABC, NBC, CBS, or whatever the networks were in the 60s, 70s, even the early 80s. And nowadays, I can't answer as to why they don't do it now, other than how much it probably costs to air it. But I will say they don't insist on stepladders, but I guess it's their only chance to show the world the best in the sport. But that's a great question, Rob. That's a great question right there, because
it's also TV.
So true.
The format
is talking about earlier.
No, I know, but the format is TV friendly because, again, you only have 90 minutes or 2 hours. Back in the day, it was 90 minutes.
It's not friendly for the tournament leader, though.
No, it's not. No, absolutely not. But it comes down to how long they have in their time, and what can you sell to sponsors. It comes down to money. It comes down to time management and money. I think there's just not enough time to show match play rounds and stuff like that,
so
and have a longer presentation.
Pull up Roger, because this is contradictory to what Dak was trying to say. And Roger, I'm going to call you out right now.
Yeah, fuck you, Roger.
Steve Miller took over the PBA from Nike, his goal was the exempt tour. They had 64 guys, and initially they would just bowl best of 7 matches, top 64, go to 32. You could be on tour for 6 weeks, and you would travel from, I don't know, Muskegon, Michigan to Minneapolis, Minnesota, get swept by Robert Smith, and then have a week until you had to bowl your next match. At least finally they decided to have some qualifying and then cut to, say, the top 32. But like Emerald's talking about tour trials. I liked tour trials when the tour was exempt. I liked it. I still think it sucked to watch tenured players not be able to do what they've done for forever.
Mm-hmm.
I respect it. I understand what they were trying to do, but I didn't like the idea that you're taking away the livelihood of certain bowlers based off 1 week in one center.
Right.
That never sat well with me. It's the reason I've never liked the Masters. I don't like the idea of bowling one opponent on one pair of lanes, regardless of how you did against them for the first 15 games of qualifying. I've never liked that. I've never liked it. Man, dude, we could talk about this for another hour.
We could. Unfortunately,
I wish I was actually drinking booze.
Right. Unfortunately, I got to get my kid to bed. So let's wrap it up with the Imbecile of the Week.
Thank goodness.
It's time for everybody's favorite segment.
If you guys don't know how to use a seatbelt, just ring your call button and Tommy will come back there and hit you on the head with a tack hammer.
You know, Lloyd, just when I think you couldn't possibly be any dumber.
Here's the Imbecile of the Week.
Some people are really stupid.
So I don't really have a particular Imbecile of the Week. I just have a plethora of idiots that I just want to make known to the world. This first one comes from the Bowling Science Forum, which, by the way, Mikey Pinnell has been tired of the trolls in the group, and I'm surprised I haven't been kicked out yet because I talk shit about the people in the group every week. But there was a gentleman that was anonymous that posted trying to switch to two-handed, total beginner, seems like about 320 RPM, 60 miles per hour. Tips as to my form. I can't seem to get my release closer to my slide foot. Seems my left knee is in the way. unless I can lean forward more with my back, which I might be too inflexible for.
So you have a video?
There was a video. I don't have it, but I just wanted to point out one of the comments.
Well, there's nothing wrong with this guy.
Nothing wrong with him at all. Nothing wrong with him. I'm just showing the initial post.
Oh, God.
So you can
What
see
did,
what
what
people
did
are.
some assholes say?
With an entire internet full of instruction from the top professionals, I think this is the last place I'd post a static photo that is hopefully not your actual finish position. That comes from Mike Bielski. Good old Mike. If a guy's legitimately asking for help, why do we have people like this that have to stick their nose in and say, dude, seriously, you have all these other fucking places you can go and help, YouTube and all that. Why the fuck would you post something in here? And hopefully that's not your actual finish position, because I'm assuming he says it looks like shit. It's just fucking unnecessary, right? Like that's where we say, like, the pros are the best in the world. And there's so many good people in bowling, but then there's so many fucking idiots that like to just post stupid shit like that, which is gross. Me to say it? It's gross.
I obviously have no problem saying it. Mike Bielski, go fuck yourself. You are the biggest piece of shit walking. How's that?
That says a lot, especially with Doc Sullivan around, right?
It's gross.
It is. No, it is.
Not to mention, the kid in the picture is actually like doing work right here. I don't give a shit. So those feet actually kind of look like Belmo's.
Yeah, I thought the same thing. Yeah,
his hands under the ball. Now, granted, his thumb's in it, which I would say like eliminates possibilities from what he's trying to do.
Right.
But man, that Bielski, what a piece of shit.
Like
my God.
Seriously.
Why would you go out of your way to... What is wrong with you assholes? Stop. That's all I got.
You got a kid that's just looking for help, right? Just a traditional bowler is switching to two-handed because maybe it'll help bowl.
Why would you post in this chat? Maybe it was the first one he found, dude.
Yeah.
He doesn't have a name up there. I'd like to actually talk to him.
I would
actually
too.
like to talk to that guy. I'd also like to talk to Bielski or whatever the hell his name is.
Yeah.
And I would like to be like, hey, dude, how are you?
Maybe I can make that happen. Next one. I have a question for the group. I bought a Hammer Arctic Vibe from Amazon. It was $115.40. And it came from UPS. And when I opened it, it had a strong smell like acetone or something. Has anyone ever had their ball smell like that before? And will it affect the ball when I use it on the lanes? So that's a legitimate question, right? I mean, that's
a great question, Aaron Mintzner.
So here's what Mike McGrath had to say. Simple question. Do you save enough money buying online and insulting your PSO to have him drill it?
All right. So there's no way that's the Mike McGrath from my dad's era, because it's just not. Because Mike McGrath, hang on a second, Rob. Mike McGrath, the Mike McGrath is from California and was introduced to action bowling on the East Coast by my dad in 1971.
Yeah.
So it's got to be a different Mike McGrath.
Of course it is.
But I actually do like the question from the kid as far as the Arctic vibe. So Aaron Mitzner, if you are listening, since I'm not going to say HK22 when it comes to Brunswick products, I will say since the move to Mexico early on, the bowling balls do have a fragrance that they not like a storm fragrance where they're actually like smells. Brunswick bowling balls do smell like that. They do, especially the Arctic or balls that are a little bit more porous. So it's totally fine. Drill that ball. They're amazing. But Brunswick bowling balls do have that smell. They do.
What do you have to say?
Anybody in here? Huh?
What do you have to say to the fake Mike McGrath?
No, this was for I don't know anything about the fake Mike McGrath, but I do know the OG Mike McGrath, and there's no way that man is sitting. I mean, I can't tell from this picture, but the last thing I know about Mike McGrath was the sideburns, just like Dad's.
Right.
But there's no way that's Mike McGrath would never write that. He just wouldn't write that. Charlie Tapper, he's still here. Mike McGrath would never write that, right? This has to be a makeshift Mike McGrath.
Gotta be.
Even though he's a top contributor. And eat my ass, Mike McGrath.
The other Mike McGrath.
Not you, Mike McGrath. Not Mike McGrath.
Good stuff, Johnny. Well, I was hoping to get Ocho back in here to say goodbye to him, but for the one and only Ocho, the daddy of the year, getting ready for his kid's birthday party.
Ocho's feeling some kind of way tonight. So
hey, speaking of which, my kid's here. She's not dressed, so I'm not going to put her on camera. But happy early birthday to Gabriella. Happy early birthday to my kiddo, who's going to be 6 on Friday. Addison, my love. Hi. You want to say, just yell hi.
Thank you, Charlie.
Just yell hi. Nothing. Kids don't want to talk to us tonight. I don't know what it is. What did Charlie say? I'm sorry. I'm guessing probably not. No, that's not the same Mike McGrath. So we'll put him in
Roger.
We'll put him and the other guy up there with Doc Sullivan. So we're gonna have a list at the end of the year of who is the imbecile of the year.
That guy's leading. He's close.
That guy's leading.
Before you sign off, guys, thank you all so much for always being here. Y'all are amazing. Sorry, missed 2 weeks. Got to sign off here. Rob, take it away.
Please check out our website, straightup5.com. That is straightupthenumber5.com. We are getting close to the end of August when we're going to announce who wins the signed, was it bowling ball and a signed pin from the legend, Johnny Petraglia Sr. Is that correct?
Yeah.
I'm just asking you.
Sorry, I was on mute.
It is a ball and a pin.
Sign autograph picture, signed bowling pin, and a bowling ball of their choice.
Awesome. So go to straightup5.com, purchase one of our shirts. You will be entered in the lottery to possibly win that sweet swag from Johnny Petraglia Sr. So we're looking forward to doing that, and we're looking forward to having other merchandise pop up here in the coming months. But if you do want a shirt with the sweet silhouette of Johnny P throwing a bowling ball on the front and our awesome logo on the back, go to
Rob, please add Dougie Vision one more time. I have one more thing to say about Mr. Heron. Doug, Martha stole the rosin bag. She stole the rosin bag that I purchased from Lodi. So Martha stole it. I'm very pissed about it.
Come on, Martha.
So respectfully, go shit on her, and thank you so much for being here, brother. Love you.
Can we add Martha to the
That's the
imbecile
man
week?
right there.
Can we add Martha to the imbecile of the week then for doing that?
No, Martha's perfect. But she did steal the Dougie rosin bag because she loved it.
It's a dick move, but yeah, do better, Martha. But no, we love you guys, and we love Martha. Martha's
pretty solid.
She is pretty solid. You found yourself a keeper. And anyway, Johnny, good to see you again, brother. Always looking nice, tan, and you got to get back to Georgia though. You're due for another haircut.
Georgie's in the Bahamas till the 21st. Of course, he leaves when my neck hair is connecting to my back hair.
Ooh, yeah.
I have no idea what to do for the next 10 days.
Well, maybe Martha can help you out there too with Manscaped. Go to Manscaped.com.
My mother's better. My mother can trim like there's no tomorrow. We'll just drive to Jackson. Mom's got this shit.
Well, it's good to see you as always, Johnny. For JPJ and the Ocho, I am Rad Rob. We'll be back next week for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Good night, everybody. God bless, and take care. We'll see you next week.
Love you guys. Thanks for being here.
Thanks for listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network. listening to this edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. You can follow the show on Twitter at Straight Up 5 Pod. Follow Johnny Jr. at JPJR07. Follow Rad Rob at Rad Rob Gaming. And follow Dr. Ocho at the Dr. Ocho. Got a question for Johnny? Send your questions to straightup5podcast@gmail.com. We'll see you next time for another edition of Straight Up 5 with Johnny Petraglia Jr. Right here on the Rad Rob Radio Network.
If you're a facilities manager at a university, you know students rely on the cafeteria for breakfast, lunch, dinner, and the occasional late-night snack. So when a dishwasher breaks down and dirty plates pile up, the mess hall can turn messy in the blink of an eye. Enter Grainger. With over 1 million industrial-grade products and fast delivery, the product you need now is never far away. So you can turn that dishwasher back into a lean, clean washing machine. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.